Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. We're back with issue 27, and well, we don't have a lot to do today. We just have a single double page of lore looking at the Aeldari Aspect Warriors. So it's a nice in-depth page. We look at all the different Aspect Warriors, from the numerous Dire Avengers all the way to the elite Crimson Hunters who pilot flying craft of the Aeldari. So yeah, not a lot to go through, but it's going to be a fun little journey anyway. We'll learn all about the different aspect hosts of the Aeldari. But before we do, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel out as well. Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They've recently started selling the entire Games Workshop range. Check them out. They also do shipping worldwide. Send them an email to discuss your postage terms. So, check out warbay.shop for your next hobby project, which you might find at a bit of a discount. Right, let's hit the table and we'll do some reading. Here we are then, back with issue 27, and we can start putting all of this out of reach as we've pretty much finished with it for the moment. So we got all our new data cards. I've got a baggie ready to put the Aeldari in. I need to find a nice sized baggie to put the Chaos in. And we've got 2 new terrain cards to add to our terrain baggie. So yeah, pretty cool. Put those to one side, ready for use in future games. We've also got our first of 2 scatter laser jet bikes, who wants to fall off his stand apparently. And our first of 4 twin shuriken catapult jet bikes. And there we go, 1 painted termagant ready to join the hordes. Right, so today we're into our read articles, and we just have the 1 2-page spread to go. So without further ado, let's dive on in. So past our build and paint guides, and here we are, our first and only read article. Aspect Warriors. A host of Aspect Warriors gather ready to deploy onto the battlefield. There are many aspects of Cain, the bloody-handed god. Those Azayani on the path of the warrior will dedicate their whole being to studying and perfecting a discipline based on a single one of these facets. Known as Aspect Warriors, these combat specialists are among the most deadly warriors in the galaxy. The Aspect Warriors, who together form a Craft World's elite fighting force, serve at shrines that are dedicated to their particular part of the path of the warrior. There, they and their fellow Aspect Warriors spend years of their lives drilling and training to become experts of their chosen fighting style. Few warriors anywhere in the galaxy can boast as much familiarity with their weapons and equipment as even the most junior of the Aspect Warriors. For their endless pursuit of perfection is treated not so much as a task but as a divine duty. This they execute with the utmost fervour and dedication, never resting while there are still things to learn and ways to improve. Each of the Aspect Shrines was founded by an ancient exarch known as a Phoenix Lord. Each of them came to embody the aspect of Cain that their shrine represented. Their legacy is continued to this day, for if a Phoenix Lord falls, their armour and name are taken by a successor, ensuring a continuity no matter what fate has in store. The first of our Aspect Warriors are the most numerous, the Dire Avengers. Dire Avengers were founded by the first Phoenix Lord, Azamen, and they are one of the most numerous types of Aspect Warriors. They represent Cain's unquenchable thirst for revenge against the hostile galaxy that so mercilessly treated the Aeldari species. The Dire Avengers are a tactically flexible unit that can adapt to all manner of battlefield challenges. They go to war armed with Avenger shuriken catapults that shred their targets with volleys of razor-sharp projectiles, a fitting symbol of the unworthiness of their foes to die a clean death. Shining Spears. Each of the Shining Spears is a noble and virtuous warrior champion, and Aeldari legends are full of tales of their heroic actions. They are jet bike pilots of the utmost skill and daring, excelling not just in their raw speed, but in their accuracy and their ability to execute complex aerial maneuvers that are far beyond the abilities of other species. In battle, they use their speed to strike fast and hard at enemy lines in a flurry of laser fire. They are famous for their persistence, and eventually even the soundest defense wither under their repeatedly deadly charges. Warp Spiders. Warp Spiders are named after the small spider-like creatures that crawl along the craft world's infinity circuit. Warp Spiders are trained to make small warp jumps using ancient dimensional devices that they wear on their backs. This allows them to appear suddenly by an enemy, unleashing clouds of razor-sharp wire at high speed from their death spinner weapons. The Aeldari who train and fight as Warp Spiders are considered among the most bravest of warriors, for they not only risk death in battle, but they must face the perils of the warp. Howling Banshees. The Howling Banshees are an adept close combat unit who are almost as famous for acrobatic grace as they are for their harrowing and deadly battle cries. In battle, their blood-curdling screams are amplified into a deadly shockwave by their banshee masks, causing often fatal nervous system damage to those nearby. Any foes who withstand this oral onslaught are swiftly dispatched by the Howling Banshee's deadly blades, which they wield with expert precision. Striking Scorpions. The Striking Scorpions are expert hunters who are widely feared for their sudden attacks, aided by psycho-reactive armor that moves silently with them. They use shadow and stealth to spring their trap. When it is time to attack, all attempts at subtlety are suddenly abandoned, and the Striking Scorpions descend on their foe with murderous fury. With their chainswords roaring, they let loose deadly shuriken fire and shoot needle-like shards from helmet-mounted Mandy blasters. Fire Dragons. Fire Dragons delight in the devastation wrought by heat and flame. In battle, they carry deadly fusion guns that produce so much heat that they can easily turn even the thickest of armor plating into a cloud of vapor and melt enemy soldiers into puddles of swiftly evaporated liquid. Fire Dragons study the weak points of enemies in such detail that their mastery on the topic transcends simple technical knowledge. And on the battlefield, their understanding of exactly where to fire is more like a deeply held spiritual truth. Dark Reapers. The Dark Reapers represent Cain in his aspect as a destroyer, and this symbolism is shown in their frightening skull helmets. The Dark Reapers deliver death from afar, for they are expert snipers. The weapons they use have such a great range that their armor is especially adept to their use. Their helmets are bristling with advanced sensory technology, and they are mind-linked to their weapon, allowing them to see directly into the muzzles of their missile launchers and increasing their already fearsome accuracy. Swooping Hawks. Swooping Hawks are named to the birds that, in Aeldari mythology, haunt the footsteps of murderers, hovering over them as a mark of their guilt. Swooping Hawks instead hover over the enemies of the Asciani, descending from the sky to engage in battle on their signature wings. The wings themselves are made from vibrating feather plates and incorporate gravitic lift technology. The rest of their war gear is constructed from ultralight cellular material, enabling them to wheel and soar over the battlefield with astonishing grace and agility. Each Swooping Hawk carries a las blaster and a supply of anti-personnel and anti-armor grenades to hurl down on the foe from on high. Crimson Hunters. Crimson Hunters fly a huge craft called Nightshade Interceptors that represent the pinnacle of Aeldari aerial technology. The fuselage bristles with advanced laser and plasma weapons designed to be used at high-speed dogfights against enemy aircraft. During their relentless training, Crimson Hunters fight duels against each other using the same craft and weaponry as they do on the battlefield, albeit adjusted to sublethal levels. With their formidable speed and highly trained reflexes, they are more than a match for any pilots in the galaxy. And there we have it. That's our lore for this issue. Not a lot, but it's quite interesting. We learned all about the different aspects of Kane and his disciples, the Aspect Warriors, and how they have unique roles to play in the Aeldari war machine. Up next, we have a look at the core rules. So we've got quite a nice little bit of articles to read through, and we also have an introduction to our first two combat patrols battle records. So looking forward to that. Right, first off though, let's take a look at our first few pages of the core rules. So into our issue we go, and look at that, straight to it. So, introduction. There is no time for peace, no respite, no forgiveness. There is only war. Welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Core Rules. The following pages contain everything you need to know in order to wage glorious battle across the war-torn galaxy of the 41st millennium. Warhammer 40,000 is a tabletop wargame in which players command armies of Citadel miniatures and attempt to defeat their opponent through a mixture of skill, tactics, and luck. Storytelling is at the core of Warhammer 40,000, with the rules designed to bring to life the epic conflicts between the forces of humanity, aliens and demons in the grim darkness of the far future. The purpose of the game is for all players to have an enjoyable shared experience, putting their tactical skill to the test, while admiring the spectacle of amazing miniatures clashing on fantastic battlefields. In this spirit, good sportsmanship and politeness are at the heart of the game. Games of Warhammer 40,000 are won by scoring more victory points than your opponents through achieving various objectives, from recovering vital relics to capturing enemy strongholds or eliminating the opposing warlord. The game is played in a series of battle rounds broken into different phases during which players move, shoot, and fight with their miniatures. In a game as wide-ranging as Warhammer 40,000, there may be times when you are not sure exactly how to resolve a situation that has come up during play. When this happens, have a quick chat with your opponents and apply the solution that makes the best sense to both of you, or seems the most fun. If no single solution presents itself, you and your opponent should roll off, and whoever wins chooses what happens. Then you can get on with the fighting. Combat Patrol Collection. The full core rules are an important addition that will help you get the most out of the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Collection. Read on to find out how you can use them to fight epic battles and tell amazing stories. This section contains the core rules of Warhammer 40,000. They build on the rules that you've already learned in B Basics. If you prefer, you can continue to use the rules that you have already learned. However, if you wish, you can start to add more tactical decision making to your gameplay by using the rules in this section, either for games of Combat Patrol or Warhammer 40,000. The complete Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol collection contains 9 pre-selected armies called Combat Patrols, along with some additional units that are not part of the Combat Patrols. These forces can be used in a special game mode called Combat Patrol, which uses the rules that you will receive in this and future issues, along with the missions found in G Core Rules, or Core Missions. You may notice that each page in the C Core Rules section has a page number, unlike the other sections of the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine. This is because in some places the rules refer to other parts of rules which use these page numbers. If you need to find a page number, you only have to look within this section, and you will not be referred to any other part of your binder. Warhammer 40,000, an interactive storytelling experience. When you play a game of Warhammer 40,000, you are telling a story of great deeds and epic battles that take place in the hostile far future. You can tell any type of story that you want, taking inspiration from stories that you know and love from Warhammer 40,000 universe or from your favorite books, films, and TV shows. The Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol collection includes lots of short stories and other pieces of fiction to inspire the narratives of your games. You can also find inspiration on the Warhammer community website, where the team regularly publishes a variety of articles, including stories, models, showcases, and background information to help hobbyists. You've already received a rule set that allows you to play complete games with plenty of challenge and tension. The full core rules that are presented here open up even more opportunity to tell great stories using advanced options that you have not yet learned. The full core rules will also enable you to use all of the models in the Warhammer 40,000 range, even those that are not part of the pre-made combat patrols. This includes the additional miniatures that you will receive as part of the Combat Patrol collection and in the special and premium issues. Update incoming. Sometimes extra information is released to update, clarify, or fine-tune something in the rules. All of this information can be found using the QR code here, which will take you to the Warhammer community website. If you have any questions about how the rules work, it is possible that this has been answered in the FAQ section. You can also check to see if any of the rules have been updated to provide a more balanced game. So, very handy little helpful box there, taking you to the community website there, where you can find all the FAQs. And yeah, very nice little introduction there to the core rules, telling us how we can make use of all the stuff we get in this collection. And over the next page is a contents page of what the core rules is made up of. So core concepts, the battle round, data sheets and abilities, stratagems, strategic reserves, terrain features, mustering your army, and your missions. And we've also got a few extra bits. So some units have abilities. There's helps and tips throughout this collection, or this core rules section. There's summaries at the bottom of each section, and there's also the page numbers. So before we get into our game, we have Combat Patrol data sheets, battle records for our first two Combat Patrols. So Strike Force Octavius. The Space Marines of Strike Force Octavius specialize in purging the Emperor's enemies amongst even the most tangible terrain. Be it twisted decks of void-sailing space hulks, the green hell of a death world jungles, or the crumbling ruins of war-torn cities. Their sheer resilience and close-range firepower is enough to eradicate even firmly dug-in foes. This combat patrol includes the units shown below. Captain, who is your warlord. One model. This model is equipped with a Stormbolter and relic weapon. Librarian. One model. This model is equipped with Smite, Stormbolter, and a force weapon. Terminator Squad, 5 models. The Terminator Sergeant is equipped with a Stormbolter and power weapon. One Terminator is equipped with an Assault Cannon and Power Fist, and 3 Terminators are equipped with a Stormbolter and Power Fist. Inferno Squad, 5 models. Every model is equipped with a Bolt Pistol, Pyre Blaster, and Close Combat Weapon. Combat Patrol. Strike Force Octavius is a pre-selected army called a Combat Patrol. You can use this force and other Combat Patrols to play the missions found in G Core Missions. And then we got pictures of our models and units, so we can reference. So there's our Terminators and Infernus Marines, and a picture of the complete Combat Patrol there. Combat Patrol Tyrannies, the Vardengast Swarm. Categorized an Alpha-class threat by Imperial Crypto Savants, after a series of brutal battles along the Vardengast line. The swarm of Tyrannid warrior organisms have reaped a bloody toll on human prey, flowing into the fight like a single many-bodied entity. These vicious aliens swiftly close the distance with their enemies before riddling them with gruesome bioammunition and tearing them limb from limb. This combat patrol includes the units shown below. Winged Tyrannid Prime, Warlord, 1 model, equipped with Prime Talons. Psychophage, 1 model. Model is equipped with Psychoclastic Torrent, Talons, and Betentacled Maw. Termagants, 20 models. Every model is equipped with a Flesh Borer, Chitinous Claws, and Teeth. Barb Gaunts, 5 models. Every model is equipped with a Barb Launcher, Chitinous Claws, and Teeth. Fonrise Leapers, 3 models. Every model is equipped with Leaper Talons. Combat Patrol. The Vardengast Swarm is a pre-selected army called a Combat Patrol. You can use this force and other combat patrols to play missions found in G Core Missions. So at the bottom, again, we've got pictures of our models. So the Prime, a Leaper there, and then Termagants over the side. And again, our full view of what the combat patrol is. We'll be getting more of these in the future for each of the different combat patrols. And hopefully we'll get a page where we can put a full list of all the names of our named units ready for reference in future games. So, What's in our next combat patrol then? So we continue with our jet bikes with parts 2 and 3. So we've got a lot of lore in issue 28, and we cover the command and movement phases in our core rules section. And in issue 29, we learn more about the Dark Eldar, and we get to try out our Wind Rider jet bikes after painting them. So I hope you'll join me for our next issue of Combat Patrol. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.